Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through your source material for those pure nuggets of insight. Today, we're actually taking a bit of a detour into a realm that seems, well, psychological maybe.
At first glance, yeah. But it offers some fantastic linguistic insights.
Exactly. Our sources today are really specific. They come from teaching materials, English language learning stuff, focused on how people talk about, well, dreams. They're movies they see while sleeping, as the source puts it.
Which is a great angle.
So our mission, let's quickly distill the essential vocabulary, the core phrases, and maybe most importantly, the very specific grammar rules you need when you're sharing those, nocturnal adventures.
Yeah, finding that structure. How do you turn those weird mental images into a story someone can follow?
Right.
And it's brilliant for language learning because dreaming, that's universal. We all do it. But being able to talk about it, that demands a pretty subtle grasp of English storytelling. So when you learn to recount a dream, you're immediately forced to handle two tricky things. Past tense, getting the timeline right, and expressing real feelings. So it's not just words, it's about conveying emotion.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so let's start with the basics. The foundation, vocabulary. The material gives us the obvious nouns first. You've got the dream. The person having it is the dreamer or the sleeper. And then that specific word for a bad one, the nightmare.
Standard stuff, yeah. Sets the scene.
But the key starting point, the real anchor phrase they highlight is, I had a dream. Simple. Direct. Establishes the whole context right there.
Absolutely essential.
And then flowing from that, the preposition. This is interesting. We don't say, I dreamed flying. We say, I dream about flying. Or I dream about my school. That little word, about, seems crucial in their teaching.
It is crucial because about signals, you're talking about the topic or the content of the dream. You're not saying you, physically own the flying or the school and the dream.
Okay, it's thematic.
Exactly. So those examples, I dream about flying, I dream about my school, they immediately teach the learner how to frame the subject of their story. And distinguishing nightmare is important too. You use that for the really negative stuff. It flags it immediately. Dream is kind of the default for everything else.
Okay, so that sets up what the dream was about. But then how do you describe what happened inside it? This is where I think it gets really interesting for language learners. That grammar challenge.
Definitely.
You're talking about something that already happened, the dream itself, in the past. But inside that past event, other things were happening also in the past.
It's that nested past tense idea, like a story within a story, but both are finished.
Right, a double timeline thing.
And managing that, coordinating those two past timelines at the same time, it's actually a pretty high-level skill. But it's disguised as just telling a simple story about a dream.
So the key is, what'd you call it? Consistent anchoring.
Yeah, consistent anchoring. You have to keep everything locked in the past.
Okay, so first step, the verb to dream itself.
Right. The past tense is usually dreamed. Sometimes you hear dreamt. That's okay too. Just a bit less common, maybe.
Dreamed or dreamt. Got it.
But the real lesson, the structural one, is what comes after that verb. The materials really hammer this home. The stuff inside the dream, the actions, they also need to stay in the past tense.
Why is that so critical?
Well, think about the common mistake learners make. They might say, I dreamed I am king.
Right, mixing present tense in.
Exactly. And when you do that, it sounds, well, confusing. Is the dream still happening? Are you saying you are a king now?
Okay, I see. It breaks the frame.
It totally breaks the frame. The correct way has to be, I dreamed I was a king. Both the dreaming event and the being king event are finished. They're in the past. The whole experience ended when you woke up.
That makes sense. Lock it all down in the past.
Lock it down. Both the frame and the picture inside need that past tense marker.
It sounds subtle when you just say it, but using it correctly makes the story smooth and understandable. But hang on, dreams are often illogical, right? Confusing, nonlinear.
Often, yes.
So doesn't forcing this strict past tense consistency kind of, remove some of that weirdness, that ambiguity?
That's a really sharp point, but linguistically, especially when you're learning the language, structure usually comes first. You need to build the grammatical house before you can, paint weird things on the walls.
Okay, establish the frame first.
Right. Use that simple past tense to clearly say, this happened, it's over. Then you can use all the descriptive words, which we'll get to talk about how strange or illogical the content was, but the container, the timeline, stays consistent.
Okay, that clarifies why they're so insistent in the source material.
Structure first, then description.
Let's look at their examples. They really nail this dual past tense thing. Like, last night I dreamed I was in Paris. Okay, dreamed. past.
What?
Past. Both done.
Perfect.
Or, I dreamed that I was flying in the sky. Same pattern. Dreamed was flying. Both past.
Consistent.
And the relatable one. I dreamed that I met my favorite singer. Dreamed, met. Again, both past.
See, it provides a really reliable structure, a pathway for the learner. Makes it much less daunting.
Okay, structural integrity. Got it.
And once you've got that down, once that structure feels natural, then you can move on to the really fun part.
Which is?
The payoff. Using richer language,
Right.
describing the feel of the dream, expressing emotions. Because dreams aren't just plot points, they're emotional journeys, right?
Absolutely. And they're fantastic practice for descriptive language. The curriculum gives learners a kind of starter kit for this.
Yeah.
Expressions to just summarize the overall vibe.
Yeah, the quick evaluation.
Like saying about the dream itself. It was so strange, or it was so scary.
I
Or
like that.
on the flip side, it was so funny, or maybe it was so beautiful. Sets the mood instantly.
Exactly. And that leads naturally into the next step, which is talking about how the dreamer felt inside the dream. This is huge for practicing emotional vocabulary in English.
Moving from describing the dream to describing your feeling in the dream.
Precisely. And the curriculum focuses on simple ways to do this, ways that fit perfectly with the past tense rule we just talked about.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about the difference. You can say, the dream was scary. That uses an adjective to describe the dream externally.
Right, it was scary.
But the material also teaches you to say, I was scared in my dream. Or, I was angry in my dream. I was happy.
So you're shifting the focus to the internal state.
Yes, I was scared. You're practicing expressing your emotional state directly linked to that past action in the dream. It connects the grammar and the feeling beautifully.
That's actually a really powerful distinction. It's teaching self-expression, almost empathy.
It is.
If you can confidently say, I was angry in my dream, using that past tense correctly, well, then you're much closer to being able to say, I was angry yesterday when X happened.
Exactly. The dream context is like a safe practice zone. Lower stakes, but maximum linguistic benefit.
Speaking of low stakes and maybe a little anxiety,
Yeah.
we have to talk about the nightmare example they used.
Oh, the homework one is
Yeah.
brilliant.
It perfectly shows how simple words convey complex feelings. The example given for a nightmare is, I dreamed I was eating my homework.
Classic student anxiety dream. And the reaction provided is, that's a nightmare for books.
Haha, right. But what's great is how it shows you don't need fancy words like trauma or existential dread.
Yo.
You use everyday things, eating, homework, to communicate that feeling of stress, of something being wrong.
It makes expressing complex feelings feel achievable for a learner. Just use the words you know.
And they do something similar with fear, right? The talking cat.
Ah, yes, the talking cat example. It illustrates expressing fear simply. Instead of complex sentences, it's just, I was scared because a talking cat chased me.
Simple cause and effect. Was scared, emotion, because connector. Talking cat chased me, past action.
Exactly. That simple conjunction because is key. It clearly links your internal feeling to the past event that caused it. No need for advanced grammar to make that connection clear.
So if we tie all this together, step back and look at the big picture. It's fascinating how this seemingly light topic, talking about sleep stuff, turns into this amazing language workout.
It really is a powerhouse training ground.
You're practicing keeping your past tenses consistent.
Hmm?
You're using descriptive adjectives, connecting ideas with because.
Expressing a whole range of emotions.
All at once.
Right. In a low-pressure context. Talking about a dream feels less risky than talking about a real, sensitive event sometimes. And the source material basically says this outright. Dreams help you learn new words and practice talking about feelings in English.
So the takeaway is, don't just forget your dreams.
Don't let them fade away. They're free practice materials sitting right there in your head when you wake up.
Challenge yourself. Try to use that structure. I dreamed I was doing something.
You know, I was feeling something, confused, happy, scared, whatever it was.
Connect the action and the emotion, all in the past tense. It shows that even sleeping can help you learn English.
You can really use every part of your life, even your subconscious stuff, to get better at the language.
So keep using those dreams. Practice that grammar. Explore those feelings.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Think about one of those emotional expressions we mentioned. Maybe, I was angry in my dream. Now consider how you could use that exact structure, I was emotion, to talk about a real past event when you were awake. How does the simple grammar you practiced for a sleep story help you articulate a real feeling about something that actually happened? Keep exploring the language. Turns out, you can even do it in your sleep.